It's time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast.
Ooh, everybody get excited. Welcome to the show. Y'all stay with us. We're going to get into the declassified files that apparently have been sitting on the desk buried over there at the CIA office, proving the government, or the man as some call it, can and do control the weather. I used to be a skeptic. I'm not anymore. Also, Disney found out that people, get this, just want to be entertained and not preached to by social justice warriors. So we'll get into that. And friend of the show, Afroman, you know him because I got high. You know him. Well, he's being sued for pissing off a bunch of deputies with a viral song he recently put out. So we're going to take a look at that. And, of course, like always, wherever else the chats and our brains take us. So welcome to the show. Now, I do want to start off. I want to give a shout out to someone who many call, and I know you do, Brad, you call him the guardian of democracy over there in North Korea for yet another political victory. Right. So I'm talking about none other than little Kim, Rocket Man, Kim Jung Un. Okay. North Korea just had a big nationwide vote on March 15th. It was to pick people for their version of parliament, so to say. It's called the Supreme People's Assembly. Now, this was the first one they had in about 7 years. They got almost 100% of people voted. It was exactly 99.99% turnout, which is amazing. The ruling party, which is Kim Jong-un's party and his band of merry men, got 99.93% of the votes. So Damn. They won every single seat, all 687 of them. You know, although there was no opposition allowed, that's a minor detail. Don't worry about that. But they even admitted, you know, a tiny 0.07% of people voted against the candidates. That's the first time in decades they've actually said a number like that out loud. Now, the big question is, are those people in that 0.07% still alive? That's what we all want to know. I'm highly doubting it, but you know, it's big. Like I said, big victory for him. Some may ask, what is the Supreme People's Assembly actually? Well, again, it's North Korea's parliament on paper. It's like Congress or legislature, but in reality, it's a yes men committee. Really, you know, that means they almost never say no to anything the ruling party wants. They just officially approve laws and policies and big decisions. You know, they also pick the top leaders, including reconfirming Lil Kim's power. The members, I think they call them deputies or something. They don't meet very often. I mean, they're kind of busy, but you know, maybe once or twice a year. Now, this time they said they replaced a ton of them, over 70% new faces, including Kim's sister Kim Yo Jung and other super loyal people. Bottom line, they aren't really competitive elections like we have in most countries. Everyone has to vote. There's only one approved candidate per seat, and the whole thing is pretty much fucking staged and a show behind Kim Jong-un and his regime. You know, more of a big propaganda show than actually a choice. But say what you want, little Kim is racking up the victories over there when it comes to politics. So congratulations to him.
Kim's a dog.
He's a
powerful person over there, dude.
Like I said, he's a hell of a campaigner. I mean, we talked about that a while back when he won some other fucking position he was running for. You know, he's got a good campaign. Well, vote for me or I kill you. I love it. You know, I think more politicians on this side of the fucking pond ought to run with that. So
that's hilarious, dude.
Anyway, what you got?
What they spend on?
I'm sorry.
I wonder what they spend on I wonder what they spend on campaigning, like money wise, like they do in America. You know,
money on campaigning. Probably not a fucking thing. I don't even know if they have to. I think
slave labor hanging signs, dude. Yeah, bad, dude.
No, look, we're not too far from the way that North Korea chooses its leader. You know, I mean, it's all staged over here too when it comes to these presidential campaigns and you know, runs or whatever. But no, it's just funny. They love to come out with that state-run media and let you know how well he did in these elections every time they have one over there in North Korea. And I'm thinking, do they really have to keep doing this? You know, I mean, was anybody surprised by another landslide victory for Mr. Kim or Lil Kim? It is crazy, huh? It's a crazy system, man. And people got it rough over there. But Hell, 99.9% of them voted for him. So, I mean, what you going to do? Now, I wonder, and I always wonder, like, do you think people really vote against him over there? Because they're saying 0.07%. Do you think they just throw that out there to make it look like they're having elections?
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Because there's no way.
The ones that are allowed to vote, you know, the ones that
Right.
are allowed to vote, you know.
I was going to say, there's no way in a country run the way that it's run by him that you would ever take that chance and vote against anything he wants.
Yeah, I was going to say, people vote against him once, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You might get one time to vote against him, and then your family's punished for generations. It's like, it's crazy, man. So
do they? I wonder if they enforce like the ID, voter ID, and all that stuff over there. You know, you have to show ID to vote.
Yeah. They're very strict with their voter laws in North Korea, from what I understand. You know, from what I understand,
well, settles that. Yeah,
it settles that. So anyway, what you got, Justin? More entertaining than Kim Jung Un's big victory that you don't want to give no props for.
I want to know if y'all are going to be on the future of ATVs and personal transportation.
What do we got?
Which is here. All right. So this is the Jetson 1.
Is that flying?
It is.
Oh,
so
how high does it go?
I think they limit it to 10,000 feet, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, I'm good with 10 foot. I'm not going up 10,000 feet. In that
so it's got 8 electric motors on it. It's built out of aluminum and carbon fiber. I think it's electronically limited at around 100 miles an hour. It's a one-seater. You don't need a pilot's license to fly it. And their claim is that it, due to redundancies, it can run if one of the motors go out. So it's got 8 motors. If you lose one in the air, you can still fly.
That thing's a reality right now?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how much it costs. Like, what's the price tag on that thing?
Theirs, I think they're releasing them. They're $110,000. You can build one.
Yeah.
You can build one for about 20.
I guess. I don't want to build one in my garage and trust it 10,000 feet
Look
up
at
in the
him.
air. I'd forget one bolt with Loctite, you know, without, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
right.
Oh, I've already built the parts list, dude.
I mean, if y'all ain't going to eat it, you know, it's
I've already
fucking
built
Wednesday.
Ooh! I've already built the parts list, so I know what we need to buy.
No,
Look,
I would.
they got their little
definitely,
races.
I wouldn't be afraid to get in one. I'm not going 10,000 feet in the fucking air, but I'd go, you know, a little bit, a few feet.
That is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, but we knew that was coming. I mean, that's essentially just a huge drone, right? I mean, it's the
Pretty
same
much,
sort of,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the little. How many propellers or whatever does it do? Like
So
the
there's-
drone, where they got one on every corner?
Yes. Let's switch to here. Yeah, so it's got 8 propellers. Look at him.
That is pretty dope.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Bro, look at it. I mean, it maneuvers just like a small drone.
Just like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's all they
Cuts-
were when they were
cuts
flying
grass
over
too,
the
dude.
fucking country, right?
Yeah.
That would have been the size of them, so yeah. But now they're allowing for civilian use.
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah, and
you
it's
gotta have
considered an ultralight aircraft. So
Okay.
you can get like a one-seater helicopter
it. Yeah.
and fly it without a pilot's license as long as they stay under 140 mile an hour, I think it's got to be.
Right.
So this would be an ultralight. I think the whole thing weighs, without you in it, right under 300 pounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I
No,
think it'd
that's
be
awesome.
dope.
That
And then,
would.
I mean, you know, from here, the prices just come down. You know, you get other
Yeah,
companies
yeah.
that learn how to do it, and prices come down and down. And
How long for fucking Whistling Diesel's dumbasses destroying one?
that's probably him right there.
You know he's gonna be the first one.
That just looks so dope, dude.
No, that
like,
looks awesome. It really does.
fucking out there freestyling and
I wonder if it still has I want one with a remote so I can fuck with you while you're flying it.
nope, it's got a joystick, dog.
Ah, damn it. So, all right, well, fuck it. Let's get into it, man. You know, something caught my eye the other day. Brad kind of been knowing this because Brad's on top of all of this shit. But, you know, the CIA basically just really admitting that the government has and can and does control the fucking weather. I mean, they had declassified 1965 CIA documents released in 2003. I mean, they outlined U.S. weather modification efforts under President Lyndon Johnson. Now, that was, hell, back in 62, I know President Johnson himself said it out loud, he who controls the weather will control the world. So, I mean, that's not some tinfoil hat meme. That's a video from his vice presidential speech back in the day. I mean, why would a sitting VP say something that sounds, straight out of some fucking Bond villain script unless, they were already thinking about it. Now, these don't seem to be, leaks or rumors. I mean, it's declassified CIA files, like I said, from the 60s. That, people were just putting a spotlight back on the 18-page report sitting in their archives. I mean, the military was literally spraying chemicals from planes to mess with storms. They admitted it. Project Popeye in Vietnam, that was real. That's a top secret U.S. military weather modification program during the Vietnam War that used cloud seeding to extend the monsoon season over there. It aimed to kind of flood the Ho Chi Minh Trail to slow down enemies, and their supplies. Right. And, it caused road washouts, landslides, and, just persistent rainfall, man. So, it just makes me think, I mean, if they were doing that back then, the fuck do you think they're doing now? Yeah. Absolutely. Like, I call people crazy that say that they're controlling these storms and shit, but when you start reading about what they were doing in the fucking 60s, just the jump in technology since the fucking 60s. I mean, it really makes you wonder, what are these motherfuckers up to right now?
Or what are they capable of, huh?
Yes, exactly. I mean,
now in those reports, Shane, do they specify that they can control like tornadoes and hurricanes and direct them and guide them? Is it just more weather making as far as, rain?
Yeah, I don't know, because they didn't really, I didn't get the breakdown of everything that was in it.
That's what I would have to assume, because that's, known as far as the cloud seeding, and they can, they can make it rain, right? Which
absolutely,
as far as if they wanted to make some sort of severe storm, tornado, or hurricane. I mean, most of our hurricanes come from the same place, right? They originate in the same areas right off the coast of Africa and come across. So, I mean, technically, you would know where to cloud seed to get the best chance of a hurricane, and they know what the upper atmosphere steering winds are doing, so you'd know when to do it. And as far as tornadoes, I mean, they know when the trough's coming over to us. They know what the upper atmosphere is doing, so they would know the best spots and times to seed in order to try to get a severe storm to pop off.
But that's more of just creating them, right?
Yeah.
So now it goes to the question of, like Brad was saying, do they have the technology to steer these things and control where they go?
I don't think we have the energy required to steer these things.
To do that, to move those,
it's so much energy in these storms. It's
you don't think
mind blowing. Like I don't know that anybody can really wrap their mind around how much power it takes to make and steer and
I guess if you
stop these storms.
I guess if you watch the weather pattern, so to say, and like, okay, if we create this storm right now, it's gonna go here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess if you look into it that far, then essentially you're sort of steering it. You're letting the atmosphere do what it does, I guess. And
if you're running models and you can see that the steering winds in the upper atmosphere are going to start shifting more to, westernly pattern, you could plan to say, okay, well, we're going to cloud seed off the coast of Africa today. By the time this thunderstorm makes it over there, the steering winds will steer it pretty much right into the Gulf. And, that's where it should go. And then I think if that was kind of the plan, it would have to pretty much be left to chance at that point. But I think they could, give themselves better odds of a big storm hitting places, or even with tornadoes. it's like, okay, well, this atmosphere has a ton of cape in it. There's a bunch of shear, and it's already primed for severe weather. So let's seed now, and we're just going to make, the initial storm and hope it builds up.
Well, would you put it past this government of ours doing it for malicious intent? And
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I never put it
to the
past them.
Democrats. According to the Democrats, it was George Bush that steered Katrina over New Orleans.
He did it himself.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. On it. Go. No, but I wouldn't. I'm with Justin. I at this point don't put anything past him. Like I mentioned before, when you start to realize the type of shit they were doing back in the 60s and I'm sure before. I mean, imagine what these ass clowns are up to now. I mean, just look at the MK Ultra thing. Back when the CIA ran the Project MK Ultra from, I think, 53 to 1964. I mean, it was an illegal top secret effort to develop mind control techniques and drugs for interrogation and behavioral modification. I mean, they had 149, sub-projects funded through universities, hospitals, and prisons. So the CIA could basically deny involvement. I mean, it's crazy, man. They were dosing people with LSD and barbiturates and hypnosis, electroshock, sensory deprivation, you name it, and it was just kind of, they were testing this shit on unwitting American citizens and prisoners and mental patients. And
did it work?
Like all trying to develop, like I said, this mind control shit. So if they were doing that back from 53 to 64, well, who's to say they quit just because they got caught?
Did it work?
Doesn't mean they right. So they may be out there controlling minds now, man.
Which one
nuts,
worked? That's what I want to know. Did it work, and which one?
Well, they say that's what Charles Manson's whole issue was, that he was part of this. Him and his fucking little crew there. I mean, there's if you really dig into it, there's a lot of, I hate to use the word proof, but there's a lot of reasons to believe that they were behind the way that man was out of his fucking mind, basically. So
I could
they,
see it.
and then they had one documented death of the Army scientist, Frank Olson, who was secretly given LSD in 53 and later fell from a hotel window. I mean, it was ruled suicide, but of course, highly suspicious. So I know they deliberately destroyed most of the records back in 1973 on orders from the CIA director back then, to hide the abuses, basically. What survived came from forgotten budget files discovered in 1977 is how they got caught. So, right. I mean, they were up to that back then. And then, it kind of brings me to the whole Tuskegee syphilis thing that they were doing, from 1932 to 72, the U.S. Public Health Service ran a 40-year fucking study on 600 poor black men in Macon County, Alabama. They, 399 with syphilis and 201 without as controls, basically. They were told they were getting free bad blood treatment and government health care. Instead, they got no treatment at all. Even after penicillin became the standard cure in the 40s, doctors deliberately withheld antibiotics so they could watch the disease progress. So they
wanted to see what happened in untreated patients.
Yes, they were using real people for 40 fucking years as guinea pigs. That's what this government was doing.
Yeah.
Without any consent from these people.
And I don't think the government's gained any morals since then.
No, they're worse. I think they're worse. I think they just become better
at how to hide it.
Exactly. It's like a good criminal. You just get better at it.
That's it. I think the government looks back on these things and they're like, well, how did they get caught?
Yeah.
Let's study how this got out to the world, and let's not do that again.
Exactly. And we talked about one of them the other night with the whole Gulf of Tonkin incident. I mean, that was pretty much, bullshit there, where they were claiming that they were, one of their ships were fired upon over there. And it was come out to proof it. It never happened. I mean, it never happened. They used that as an excuse to ram through the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution on August 7th back in 1964, and it passed unanimously. So what it did is it gave the president a blank check, basically, for war powers without a formal declaration. So it allowed them to just basically go full force and just get in there and destroy Vietnam. So they lied basically to enable a full escalation of the Vietnam War. So they were caught doing that shit.
Didn't they poison a bunch of their own soldiers with Agent Orange in Vietnam?
Yeah.
Was that what? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Look, bro. Like I said, the more you start uncovering all this shit, the more you start thinking that these people that they want to call kooks and conspiracy theorists, and man, I'd say it seems 90% of what you fucking hear out there that you would call crazy is fucking true. I mean, these people got over $100 billion in that secret, what they call black budget. I mean, that's it's money every year that nobody really watches. So what else are they doing right now? I mean, it's when we talked about the weather, I mean, are they controlling the weather like a weapon, basically? I mean, what if the government, they're not just studying the weather, but actually, like Justin talked about earlier, the possibility of steering hurricanes, creating droughts, or making these huge storms hit exactly where they want, which, I mean, we mentioned that just as far as you letting the atmosphere that's already happening control it, I mean, they already admitted that with the the shit that went on in Vietnam. So, imagine if they can crash an enemy's country's food supply or blame this whole climate change for disasters that they've secretly made. I mean, the sky is their new fucking battlefield, whether it be foreign or domestic, it seems. I mean, it seems like it could be a real possibility.
Hence, SpaceX,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't put anything past them.
No, I really don't, man.
What up, Julie? What up,
hey,
Matt?
Julie, what's up?
Hey, guys.
Matt.
Kentucky. Julie, what's going on? What's going on, Julie? But anyway, like I said, it really starts making you wonder what they're capable of doing when you have unlimited budget, so to say, no morals, and it just being a free-for-all to discover new ways of fucking people up, basically. And for whatever reason they have behind it, that's all they're doing. It seems like none of this is for good. I mean, when they're sitting there running 40-year-long medical studies on people that have no clue it's even happening, you don't get much worse than that. That's sick.
Mm-mm.
That is terrible. That is just no regard for another human's life. It's amazing that you would see that somewhere and think, oh, that's some good fiction writing, and it's not. That happened. They got caught doing it. It's disgusting, man.
Yeah. Do you think it's for lack of better words or phrases, I guess, a gift or a curse that, like, when they do these things, they still at least try to keep them behind a curtain, right? So they can't do just crazy, outrageous, just whole, like, to the whole of the public things, because they still try to hide it to an extent where it's something that they don't want getting out to the world. So, like, if the government was like, we want to kill half of the Americans, right? They couldn't just, like, drop a bomb and blow up half of America, you know what I mean? So they couldn't get these big, big ideas in their head.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but is it any worse than them just doing it behind, a curtain, so to say? And I mean, you're saying they can't do shit like that on a large scale?
Yeah, and I'm saying at least they still, because if they stopped caring about, I guess, public image, and they're like, fuck y'all, we're the fucking government,
Right.
Then we'd really be fucked.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, why do they even give a fuck about the public image? I mean, why does it matter? They do whatever the fuck they want anyway. It's amazing they still care. But they seem to, because every time they start a conflict or decide that it's time to go to war, they do what they have to do to get the backing from the general public. And there's a reason for that, or they wouldn't do it. You know, I don't know what the reason is, because it seems like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if they can control the weather, they can control the election. So it doesn't matter if you're pissed off, you know. So it's just weird to think that for some reason they still act like they care that the American people get behind the government when they're doing things. And I don't know why, because if I was the government, you know, like, what the fuck do I care if you like what I'm doing or not? Look at the power I have. I mean, if you were looking at it from their standpoint, you know. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's better, like you said. I just know, I know they're up to no good big portion of the time, and just reading stuff like these, you know, these CIA files that have been kind of, you know, tucked away for years on them doing things to, you know, sort of control the weather back in the 60s. It just really, I mean, your imagination can just run wild now with what else they could possibly be doing. And I guarantee you none of it's for our benefit. So I don't know.
I know. I think about all these chemtrails and all that crap that you see, and some days it's worse than others. And, you know, and it's like, dude, what is in that? You know, what is being sprayed upon the American people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's that.
Yeah.
Look, man, some people call you crazy when you start talking chemtrails and stuff, but I mean, you know, I've heard people as I want to say crazy. I hate to even use that term now, but as crazy as, you know, the dropping these tiny mind control robots with the chemtrails, you know, it's crazy, man. So they're talking about, you know, what if they're spraying millions of invisible nanobots that get inside your body and mess with your brain? So when you start hearing shit like that, it kind of makes people sound like a kook, and they just, you know, you get blown off as a dumbass, and people stop listening, you know. But is there something behind this whole quote unquote chemtrail, you know, conspiracy? I mean, I have no reason to believe there's not something behind it that the government's doing.
I agree.
But why wouldn't they put something like that in the food supply, or, you know what I mean? Something
well, how do you know they're not?
Well, but then why spray it in the air too?
Oh, you're talking about if you were
why make it something so obvious? You know, if instead of just trying to hide it in the food supply or the water supply or something like that, you know?
And it's funny because it goes back to the original thing with the MK Ultra of trying to control minds. And that's why people go with the whole trying to, you know, with the nanobot shit, trying to, you know, put it in people and it all comes back to control. You know, where they can control your emotions, they can control what you buy, who you vote for, you know, and all that type of shit. And like I said, that goes back to what they were actually caught doing with that MK Ultra issue. So now I don't know anything about all these fucking nanobots and stuff. I know it sounds fucking crazy. I'm just telling you the shit that I've heard before, but I wouldn't put it past them as far as trying to find a way to control people, whether it be like Justin said, in something that you eat every day, food or drinks. I mean, and I know it sounds sci-fi and, you know, you can't wrap your mind around some kind of substance that's just going to make people, you know, be controlled by the government. But there's a lot of things going on that until you know, you don't know. Like, you know, like, I mean, let's put it this way. Cavemen, if you would have tried to explain an iPhone to people back, they'd look at it like, what the fuck? You know, like, so there's technology so far advanced, probably beyond our imagination, that the government already has. And it just seems like a lot of it's for bad intent, you know, just
and that's
control.
What I'm saying. Like, of all the things that they have, like, you would think that they wouldn't use something so obvious as like a chemtrail, you know? You'd think they're past
I see what you're saying. They wouldn't even more secretive.
Yeah, to where you can just look up and then people start asking questions. Like, I feel like the government tries to do shit in the shadows as inconspicuous as possible, you know? And I mean, blasting it across the fucking sky isn't very secretive.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, be a little bit more discreet about it if that's your plan, and it may be. I mean,
and they probably are. Yeah,
right. I mean, what are technically the little chemtrails or whatever coming from the back of those jets? They're explained off as
condensation.
Yeah, just condensation coming from them. And look, that's not to say it's not, but like I said, when you start reading into the proof of what the government has been up to, then you start to question everything, which I think you should. I mean, I think you should really start to wonder what this government is doing behind the curtain. And I think they've earned that, you know, to be questioned at every fucking turn because of the bullshit that they get caught doing. I mean, we've mentioned it before, but we all essentially, you know, just lived through one with this whole pandemic, so to say, and you know, the vaccine, you know, all the nonsense that came from that. I mean, that a lot of that was just a money and power grab. So we sat there and watched
and control,
unfold.
dude. Yeah,
yeah. Well, that's
power
what I'm
grab,
saying.
control,
Yeah, money, power,
absolutely.
control. Yeah, whatever. And that seems to be their driving force behind everything. You know, people mention about, you know, the labs that are possibly creating these genetically perfect soldiers who never get tired, never question orders, or maybe don't even feel any type of fear. Well, that doesn't sound too far-fetched, because I know back with the the Germans and the Nazis, I mean, they were all purposely jacked up on meth, so they would basically have those type of qualities. Never get tired, no fear, just ready to fucking go, jacked up on meth all day long. So, I mean, what's to say the government's not trying to find a way to you know, have soldiers like that at their disposal? Why wouldn't you?
I'm sure they can. I'd never doubt that they can't genetically modify people. I mean, they do it to everything else.
No,
and like,
right, they can.
It honestly blew my mind when I found out that like the IVF shit, you can choose the gender.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
It's crazy, huh?
they're already doing
Yeah.
it with, you know, animals as far as the genetic mutations and all. I mean, they try to act like they're keeping it, you know, at bay, because they just think you're playing with God, you're playing with nature, and you don't need to be doing that. But if you think the government ain't in a fucking secret lair somewhere playing with fucking DNA and trying to make the perfect little servant, I mean, you're out of your mind. As I say, if you have power and control as your driving force in what you're doing, why the fuck wouldn't you use everything at your disposal? Everything. When you don't care, you don't have any morals, you don't give a fuck who it affects, you just have a goal in mind. So if you're the government and you've got endless supply of money, you've got all this technology at your fingertips, what would stop you from doing this, you know, this dirty kind of shit that we're talking about right now? Nothing. You know, why would you not do it? If you're that type of person, which obviously they are, because they've been busted doing this shit. So I don't know, man.
But would it be a bad thing to be trying to make super soldiers in a lab?
Well, until it's turned on your own people, no. I guess if you're using it for the right, but you know how it is. I mean, there's plenty of things that when used for good, it's great, but when it's used for evil, it's you know, catastrophic, and that's the problem. You give these sick motherfuckers that type of power, and who's to say it's just for our own protection now?
Yeah, I think we crossed that line at nuclear bombs, though, honestly.
Well, they're not going to blow up their own country, right? I mean, they're not going to use the nuke against Louisiana.
If they're going to let out a fucking army of super soldiers, why the fuck wouldn't they? I mean...
Well, I just mean more for the control. I don't think they're trying to get rid of everybody, but I just think they would love a way to control most of us, whether it be through force or, you know, some type of mind-altering shit. You know, I believe they just want to find a slick way to do it. You know, and I think that's where a lot of these drugs, and like I said, the whole MK Ultra shit, I think that's where a lot of it comes in, is they want ways to do this without forcefully having to do it at gunpoint. You know, they want to make you believe they're better than that.
So is it going to be the Tesla brain chips?
Thank you. Yeah, these dummies that are actually looking forward to that, putting some kind of chip in your fucking brain. Are you stupid? Like, that is one of the dumbest things anybody could ever fall for. And they got people that are lined up wanting to do it. Like, are you fucking,
I
why
think
would you
the
give
only way
anybody
that I would say fuck it is if I was like paralyzed and like quality of life was dropped significantly. I'd be like, I mean, fuck it. Worst case, they take over my body, and it is what it is, you know?
But like right
But
now,
as a completely healthy person, I wouldn't.
I don't give a fuck who it is, Elon or fucking, you know, fuck you. I don't want no chip in my brain. What's going on, CSR? I see you in the comments, brother. Let's see, guys. I was born 15 miles from Fort Knox, Kentucky. Okay.
What happened in Fort Knox, Kentucky?
I have
That's
no
where all
idea.
the gold is, dog.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So-
is it
so they
really
say.
though? Is it really?
Is it
Because
really?
wasn't that another thing Trump was going to do? He was going to go make sure all the gold was still there in Fort Knox. And when he got in there, somebody was like, "Look, dude, can you shut the fuck up about that gold, please?"
We can't tell the American people, dude.
Yeah, like that shit's been going for 3 decades, dude. Shut the fuck up, I think Trump did learn a lot to shut the fuck up about different things, I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that was one of them because he was going at that hard for a minute. Like, he was going to do some Geraldo Rivera type undercover shit, and just bust in there with cameras and check on all this gold. And nah, that shit ain't there no more.
Something's up.
Yeah, I don't think and it don't matter if it's there anyway, because, I mean, it's not like it's backing anything anymore, but so.
Yeah. Man, this voter shit, dude. I was kind of reading, I guess, California's steps to voting, right? And basically just all the normal shit to registering to vote. But at the polls, they say basically you don't have to show identification or anything like that unless you're a first-time voter.
Right.
If you're a first-time voter, you have to basically show that you're registered to vote and whatnot. But how do they know you're a first-time voter, right? There's got to be something there for them to know that you're a first-time voter coming in, right?
So that's the rule. If you're a first-time voter, you have to show.
Yeah, according
So what
to
if you just walk in there and
California's
say
website.
I'm not? What if you just
Well,
go
that
in
was
there
my point when I was reading it. I was like, they have to have something in place that they know if you're a first-time voter or not, right?
Yeah.
Or that, I mean, either that or that rule just is like there to look cute on paper.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think that it's just a way for them to say, no, we're on top of it. We're on top of it. Because I'm with you. Like, if they can't ask you for your ID to prove, because see if I'm wrong, can you search that? And because according to what I understand, they can't ask you for your ID over there. I mean, I've heard people say that it is illegal, so to say, and see if that's true or if that's just hyperbolic shit that people are saying, because I've heard it multiple times, and we don't want to we don't want to give out false information on this show.
No,
Never. No.
This is your go-to source for facts here. Is there any truth to that Google or anybody's pulling up?
I don't see anything about them not being allowed to ask you for it, but it just keeps saying in most cases, no, California does not generally require voters to show ID at the polls.
Okay, so that may have been a stretch, people saying that they can't, but they won't and they don't. So how is it that hard to walk in there and, you a first-time voter? No. Oh, okay, well, go ahead. I mean, that's dumb. if that's their fucking, their guardian.
Yeah, and there wasn't any further, like, information on, all of that was coming directly from ca.gov. On how to vote, right? And there wasn't anything that kind of was past that of like, how do you know if I'm a first-time voter or not? If I'm not required to show ID, if I'm not a first-time voter, is there a sign-in sheet? Is there a fucking fingerprint tap? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's that is
kind of strange.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It just seems like there's a way around everything that they tried to act like is a way to stop the fraud. It just seems like there's a way around it in California, which it's as simple as, are you a first-time voter? No. Okay, go to the booth. I mean, unless it's just not that easy, but the way that it's worded, it sure does sound like it, because for one, they're not required to ask you for an ID. So if you say no, I'm not a first-time voter, well, how the fuck are they going to know that if they don't ask you for an ID? Now, I don't know how it works in Cali. I don't know if they ask for your name, because I know down here, they have a sheet of paper, and when you give them your ID, they go down that alphabetical order, they find you, they make sure your address matches your ID, blah, 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 and then they say, okay, you are who you are, go vote. I don't know if it's like that in Cali,
which is how
Like, do you walk in there and say, hey, I'm Bob Smith, I live at 123 Main Street, and then they match that on a piece of paper, or they don't even ask that? I don't know.
I don't know. And it didn't really give that information on ca.gov, but yeah, I think 31 states I was looking require some form of ID. Some, require a picture ID, some
31
don't.
states? That's it?
I believe it's 31, yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
And
that only 31.
Yeah. And the rest don't, but like CSR said, Virginia requires an ID to vote, I believe, and a lot do, but there's a lot that don't. So I was just kind of going down that rabbit hole to see, like, are people really able to just walk in and vote, right? Like, because it just seems like there would be something, whether, like you said, it's a list that they go down, but then, I'm also like, if you don't have to show your ID, then how are they matching you up on a list,
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you. If they have no way to prove it, but I'm curious if they even ask you who the fuck you are, and they just don't prove it, but you give them a name and an address or something, and I was curious about that too, but again, on ca.gov, it didn't really say. It just basically said you register to vote, you get your polling location based off of where you live, you go over there, and you're not generally required to show an ID unless you're a first-time voter or if you're switching from mail-in ballots to voting at the poll. Yeah, and that was it. Where is Philip 457? Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. A little couple dollars you threw our way for all the hard work that we do here. But what
day in, day out?
Where he's saying you need photo ID, but where are you talking about?
Where is here?
Yeah, where are you at, Philip? That's all I'm curious about. But yeah, who did I just see? Yeah, Julie there. Yeah, Julie's with us. It should be every state is different, but it shouldn't be. I mean, it should be every single one. You got to prove who you are before you can go vote. I mean, It seems like a simple, and I know that's what they're trying to do with the SAVE Act, and the Democrats are so fucking against it, man.
Offenhuffer says everyone requires an ID. Go try to vote without one. But like, that's not legit true, on the ca.gov website under elections. It says no, California does not generally require voters to show ID at the polls.
Yeah, right. That's true. I don't understand where you would get that information from to say that everybody requires an ID when California sits there and says it doesn't. And that's not on like Trump's website. That's on the California. Yeah. Timmy, what's up, Timothy? You can vote as many times as you want, especially if the pollsters are biased. Yeah. So how do you stop that in a place like California that, you just walk in there and maybe put some sunglasses on or something and say you're somebody else now? I mean, I don't know. Oh, Australia.
It's 36 states, not 31. 36 states require ID.
Your boy said he's in Australia, and they require ID, boy. But y'all got your own set of issues over there, man. Y'all government, it's going rogue, man.
And animals, government and animals over there. Jesus,
away, which I've never been. I don't know if it's as bad as it gets portrayed, but man, I know they're strict on them gun laws over there in Australia, and I know they were not playing around when it came to them fucking lockdowns. At least from the videos I saw online, it was crazy over there. Which it was getting like that in some of these fucking places around this country, So what type of ID does Dave Act? I think he meant SAVE Act, but
who's Dave?
Well, it
really doesn't require ID to vote at the poll, right? It's more of registering, and then it requires the states to basically double check that you're registered to vote.
Sure.
And prove that you are who you say you are. Like, it puts it on the state to make sure that you're an American citizen voting.
Yeah, which is what which is what they do down here, like I mentioned. I mean, it's easy. You just show your fucking ID, whatever ID that is. It just happens to be a driver's license with me. So, and if you change the laws, women will have the hardest time to vote. This is crazy, but this is not true. We've gone through this a few episodes back.
We just talked about that Monday,
I'm not going to go through all that again. Do a little research. Yeah. Don't just believe what you're being told by the side that you listen to. Do a little research. It's not true. There may be some instances where it can be a pain in the ass if a woman has a name change for some reason and it doesn't exactly match her ID, but there are ways around it. Not saying it's going to be simple for every single citizen, but it's the only way to make sure we're having as legit elections as we can in this country, and that is to make sure ID is required everywhere you vote. It's that simple. It's the safest way. It's not going to stop all the fraud, but it's a start to where people can at least feel a little bit better about these elections that we're having. Is it going to be a pain in the ass to some people? Probably. But if it's worth voting and you feel that, that hard about wanting to go out and vote, if you really believe in it, then you just got to do what you got to do to make it happen. I mean, it may not be a perfect system, but it's better than what we got right now in places like California. The way I see it, Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that for subscribing.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I think CSR wants to come on. CSR needs to send an email.
Where's CSR? Where's he at? Hey. Oh, I took it off as soon as you put it on.
Yeah.
People that comment on here. We will. We've offered it. It's just some people don't want to get on here. I'm be honest with you. We've got a lot of people that reach out to us and they want to come on, but they're afraid because of the backlash just because of the type of shit we talk about, And I mean, look, if anybody's watched this show, they know we're not on here just with derogatory shit and just, it's just not how we are. We're opinionated about certain topics that, are hot button issues that some people are afraid to speak out on. And I understand that. I get it. Some people's livelihood depends on them, shutting the fuck up basically and not giving their opinions on certain situations that are going on in the country. But it's always open if somebody wants to come on here and knows how to fucking act and isn't afraid to sit here and chop it up and talk a little bit. All you got to do is email us. There's information on our account. You can go down. There's a business email on it and let us know, man. It's not a problem. But like I said, a lot of people that want to come on, they start having cold feet when it comes time to do it, whether it just be nerves or afraid that somebody might see them on a show like this. And it's a shame that people have to be concerned with that. You know, it's a shame because you can't even, like I said, it's not even that we're just on here just blatantly being racist or homophobic or whatever, any of them terms you want to throw out. But if you just have an opinion that a company feels like, well, that might kind of rub some people the wrong way, they'll fucking fire you. And it shouldn't be like that. Let me tell you something. If you don't agree with people allowing their children to be mutilated by, all of this fucking gender care and all this bullshit that's going on with these kids, you should be able to say it. That's it. You should just be able to say, I don't agree with that. But there's some places you can't say that out loud because you might offend somebody that believes that their child should have their dick cut off if they choose to. I don't give a fuck. Be offended. I don't care. I don't agree with it. It's that simple.
Right.
I'm with you. Anyway, CSR, you're more than welcome, bro. Get on. Get you a microphone. Hook up a camera. Let's do it. I'd actually like to have him on because he really gives a lot of good points.
He's always consistently in the comments.
Right, and it's not a big circle jerk because he doesn't agree with most of the shit we say. So it would be interesting. But anyway, well. That's enough of that. But what else, man? What else? No dicks getting cut. Not on children. Let them turn 18 and say, look, you want to do what you want to do it. But when it comes to these fucking kids, that is the only thing they allow children to have a choice in. And that's doing all this gender reassignment shit. And it's like, what are we doing, man? Nobody in their right mind thinks that makes sense. So nobody should have to say otherwise, but people do, man. Your boy's Googling. I just Googled it. 40 states require ID. Justin, he's challenging
Well, there's
you.
16 that don't, so the math ain't mathing, dog.
Oh, man. But anyway, well, like I said, we fact check 90% of everything we say on here, so.
Let's see. Let's count them. So Maine requires none. Vermont requires none.
Matt said he's coming on. Matt, you ain't coming on. Stop. Matt ain't coming on here.
You've been saying that for a year, Matt. Come on.
Massachusetts, requires none. New York, none. Pennsylvania, none. Maryland, no ID. Illinois, none. Minnesota, none. Washington, Oregon, California, none. Nevada, none. And New Mexico, none. Oh, and Hawaii, none. So whoever was counting,
there you go.
tally it up.
Tally it up. They might have added some more states. Who knows? I can't keep up with it. Maybe there's fucking
CSR said he's coming on in disguise.
Why? Where's he at? Where's that?
He'd be like undercover boss.
He's probably got that 6.5 figure job. You know what
why
I'm
you got to
saying?
be in disguise? Oh, fuck that. Bring your boss on too. I'll tell him whatever you want me to tell. I'll tell him to go fuck off. I'll speak for you to your boss. Act like it's all coming from me.
That's funny.
We're gonna have him fired in 5 minutes. Who are these fucking
good,
clowns?
Julie.
Offenhuffer said, Google it yourself.
Yeah,
like Julie says, the cussing doesn't bother me at all. So, well, good. You're at the right place if you don't mind.
You are
cussing,
just the MAGA maggots, and you'll see in a few months what's up. What does that mean? Like in a few months? Like what are we talking about here? And why you going so? Why you going so hard? You ought to come on the show.
Yeah.
MAGA maggots. I'm not MAGA. I'm not at all. I mean, I don't know how many times we got to explain. I guess this is his first time watching it, so I'll cut him a break. But yeah, I mean, we've explained it multiple times. I mean, did we think he was the better option? Well, hell yeah. Are we hardcore fucking MAGA? No. I mean, he does wrong. I don't like the way the economy's rolling right now, you know? I mean, I don't see anything getting cheaper. We've spoke on that before. So anyway, I ain't even going to justify that, but whatever. You know, come on the show. Come on the show. What you got here? I used to put on a dress when I was 4 years old, running around my house. Thank God I wasn't born yesterday. And they would have me in the hospital chopping my penis off. That's true. And that is true. Yeah. A lot of parents, you know, the parents that I don't know if they need attention. So they do that and allow their child to live out them fantasies like that in a bad way, just to say, hey, look, you know, I guess you just sort of virtue signaling, like I'm a good person, you know, look at me, I'm part of the movement. And, you know, I think eventually a lot of these people that allowed that are going to regret it, but, you know, but whatever, like I said, to each their own. I just don't like when they start involving children in their mental issues, you know,
without
like,
parents' consent and all that shit.
Yeah, leave
dude.
the kids out of it.
It's sick. It's sick.
Did y'all see Trump's last press conference?
No way, I'm black. Ain't nobody taking my 19 inches.
They could cut it up and divvy it out.
You got a few inches to give.
You could spare some, dude. Shit.
You ain't finding a woman in the world. Can you imagine you pull that 19-incher out and she's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
What am I getting into?
You call the police.
God damn. He's got a third leg he wants to put in me. What the fuck? All right, sorry. I'm going off the rails here. I apologize.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's all right, though.
Also from CSR, so did you see Trump's last press conference? He's unhinged. It'll get worse. Did y'all see his last press conference? Because I didn't. I missed it. So
I didn't see it either, but you know, and like we've said before on here, it's like I was totally against this whole Iranian bullshit, dude. I did not believe it. I want it to happen. I just, you know, and I think I was telling you, Shane, today that it was, you know, from the CIA and some Army generals and the guy that just resigned, Kent, they were opposed of it from him going in. So for whatever reason, he totally denied what they said, and here we are in this. You know,
so do you think it's as simple as he, you know, really got this intel that they were up to no good and was about to start attacking U.S. debate? I mean, do you think there's any truth to that, or do you think it's more of a power just or kissing Israel's ass, basically? I mean.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, like I was going to say, you got to be careful how you talk on here because we'll get cut off of here. So, but yeah, I do, man. I do. I think it was bad intel, just like the weapons of mass destruction, you know. So, and look, I don't know. We're just three guys sitting here on a podcast. We don't know truly what's going on, but I just think it was a bad idea. I think it's going to hurt us midterm wise. And you know, look what we're paying in gas already. It's only been 4 weeks, man. You know,
and you're saying that as a hardcore MAGA maggot? Damn.
Maggot. Yes,
Wow.
I'm saying it.
Damn,
Fuck
I
off,
love
all
it, dude.
guys.
But
Yeah,
no,
it's true. Yeah.
I love my truck. I'm reading some of these chats. I love my trucks, cars, and my Star Wars figures, and I was never gay. Dude, you ain't got to convince us you ain't gay. I don't care. If you want to come out on the show, man, come on. Email us.
And there's nothing wrong with that, dude. Yeah, if that's your forte.
No, I'm just fucking with him. I know what he's saying, that there's a lot of kids that, might play with things that aren't typically associated with their gender, but it doesn't mean anything. And when these parents take it to the extreme when they're 3 years old and say, well, Bobby was playing with baby dolls, so our kid, he knew he was in the wrong body from the time he was 3. I mean, that's just dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it really is. So I love my V8. Yeah, you got a Hellcat, don't you? I bet he's got a Hellcat. I don't know how, I'm guessing. CSR, tell me you got a Hellcat, please. I do. I love him. I like him. He's cool, man. He's cool. I think we'd have a good time just going back and forth on here with him. No. Well, you need to get you one, bro. You need to get you one.
Is it a Trackhawk? It's a Durango. It's a Durango.
Anyway, what else we got going on? What the fuck are we supposed to be talking about? I done lost track, man. I know we got...
Yeah. Always happens. We're getting these chats, dude.
I heard you mention old Afroman, dude, and I was actually going to bring that up, too. Because
I got high. Yep.
I had a couple questions about the case.
Well, let's get into it for the ones that don't know. I mean, I know y'all got to remember Afroman. That's the Because I Got High guy. Now, guess I'll break it down real quick. It was 7 basically grown-ass sheriff deputies are suing the rapper. Not for assault, not for resisting, or not for hiding drugs. Right. They're suing him for basically a lemon pound cake. So yeah, the baked good, that moist, just glorious homemade cake that was just sitting on his counter, minding its own business back in 2022. Now, here's what went down. The boys rolled up on Afroman's house with a no-knock warrant. Guns drawn, looking for drugs, and, God knows what else. But they tear the place up, rip down cameras, allegedly help themselves to some cash, and find absolutely nothing, not even a fucking roach. I mean, but the security footage caught it all. They caught everything, including one deputy locking eyes with this lemon pound cake that was sitting on the kitchen counter, which I want to say I have a picture of it right here. Let's see. There it is. So, yeah, you can see him, boy. Look, he's staring at cake. There's the cake. He's staring it down.
The double take? He was like, oh.
Yo, in the video?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did. But anyway, so they went in there. They pretty much found, like I said, found nothing. I mean, they guy just caught staring at the fucking cake, and meanwhile, Afroman decides to turn that footage into a little banger called Lemon Pound Cake, a little satire, a song that he made. Well, the video blew up, millions of views, and the internet loses its mind laughing at the whole fucking thing. And years later, these same deputies now, they're in court crying, actual tears now, if you've seen any of the footage, saying the song defamed them, invaded their privacy, and caused emotional distress. Now,
sure it did.
This is from a rap song using their own raid footage and on his property. I mean, they broke into the man's house. They found jack shit, and now they're mad he made art about it, so to say. I mean, it doesn't sound like defamation. It sounds like they got, ratioed by reality. So I don't know. I mean, it just seems like a very dangerous line we're drawing as far as freedom of speech, basically. I mean, it's dangerous. And, I mean, if police can sue citizens into silence every time they get roasted for fucking up and using footage from their own cameras in your own house, then the First Amendment is pretty much fucking dead. Satire dies, comedy dies, accountability dies. I mean, Next they'll be suing every stand-up comic who jokes about getting pulled over. I mean, I don't know. It just seems weird.
So to answer CSR, Afroman won the case, I believe, today, right? Yes, he did. The jury sided with him on all counts. Now,
did. See, I didn't.
There
even
were a
get that.
couple of songs that he released. It wasn't just the Lemon Pound Cake. That was the biggest one. But he also released Lick 'em Low Lisa. Yeah. So one of the cops' name was Lisa, and it was the chick cop. So he released Lick 'em Low Lisa, accusing her of being a lesbian.
Was she?
Apparently not.
I mean,
I don't know.
There's a problem with that, but just wondering.
Yeah, but the biggest one is, so there's an officer, one of the 7 that testified about Afroman's song, and apparently in it he said something about he slept with the officer's wife.
I did see that. I saw the clip online.
Yeah,
about that.
so and Afroman's lawyer basically asked him, like, well, is it true? Did it happen? And his answer was kind of like, well, I don't know, like, I don't think so, because I don't think my wife, and he's like, well, then I'm like, how can this be a defamation case if the shit that you're suing for isn't even provable, right? Because one party can say no, the other says yes. It's not a provable thing. So I was like, I don't know how that's tied up in the case. But one of them was he released like a 13-minute music video on something else, and it had one of the cops and his brother was like charged in some pedophile shit. So Afroman was calling him a pedophile, like don't leave your kids with him and shit.
And I think on the first one you spoke on, as far as the wife cheating on him, I think the lawyer was making the point that because he was basically asking the cop, well, have you proved that she hasn't cheated on you?
Exactly.
Like, well, no. And the officers were like, how can that be defamation then when you don't even know yourself? It could be true what he's saying. Well,
exactly.
if it's true, then you're not defaming someone. So that was kind of the lawyer's slick way of saying you can't call it defamation because you haven't even proved that she wasn't fucking around on you.
Exactly. And that's what I saw when I saw the first clip. And I'm like, how do you even bring that to court on something that technically can never be proven true or false? Like, how do you prove that did or didn't? I mean, I guess it'd be easier to prove that it did happen if it did, but how do you prove that it didn't happen? And then if that's the case where you can't even prove that it didn't happen, how is that a defamation case? One of them was upset because he said he had a receding hairline, which Buddy was bald. So
I mean, fuck, it is what it is. But I want to say accusing them too of stealing, $400 in the cash, in cash during the raid that was never properly accounted for. That was one of the other accusations of these false statements supposedly that this Afroman put out. I want to say
one of the lady cops that was in charge of the evidence room apparently got on one of the news interviews and admitted that, not that they stole it, but that there was money missing. And apparently that the money bag or whatever had been left out around the evidence room by 2 of the officers that put it in there. Like, it had just been left out and unopened or opened. It wasn't closed. So that was kind of admitted to, but
I mean, and you said, but the case is done, right?
Yeah, it's done.
So it did get decided. So he got the walk.
It was all dismissed. Yep.
Which is good. I mean, I think it's good. For one, the cops fucked up. I don't know what information they were running on, but apparently they kicked in this dude's fucking door looking for shit that wasn't there.
Yep.
And guess what? You fucked up. There's repercussions to it. The man put out a song using your own footage. And I know a lot of it has to do with shit that he said that they're saying isn't true. But, I mean, like I said, you want to start doing that, then everybody who does any type of satire or anything, they're in trouble.
I don't know that any of it wasn't true.
Well, exactly. That's the good point, that it's never been proven that what he said isn't true. So, which I guess the judge or the whoever was deciding
the jury.
It's just
it was a jury.
It's a crazy ass case that I didn't even hear of until today. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and basically Afroman's argument in court, he said it a few times. He's like, my whole thing is this is their fault. had they not have fucking busted my gate down, blew my door open and raided my house, and then basically laughed at me when I asked them if they were paying for all this shit, it wouldn't have happened. So he was like, look, they came in, they broke my gate, they broke my door, they tore my fucking house apart. So I told my story to my friends and family and my fan base to raise money to pay for the damages they fucking caused.
Yeah.
And I release songs, and all of my songs have to do with what goes on in my life. So I release songs about this story, and I'm paying for the damages from them with what I make off of the songs. And had they not have raided my fucking house, I wouldn't have the video footage of them being at my house to release. And, you know, I think he was really pissed off when the money went missing. So.
That's what really, yeah, he didn't like that. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I mean, I don't put that past. I'm not saying every cop in the world would do that. Of course not. I would never say that. But, you know, there's a percentage of them that would. If you're raiding someone's house and there's cash there, you just think it's a free-for-all. Like, what is this person going to do about it, you know?
Yeah. So. Did you see the video not too long ago? It was body cam from some cops. Body cam and cell phone footage of it was a black dude that had.
Hold on one second. I want this Ryan person to know that fucking term, I'm going to speak for myself, it doesn't fucking scare me. I don't give a fuck. See, this is how they think they control you. Which ones of you are racist? You think that fucking scares me? I don't give a fuck. Call me what you want. Call me what you want. You know, anybody who fucking knows me and the people I fucking associate with, that's the only ones I'm concerned with. So if you think that's going to scare anybody on this fucking show into saying something, you're out of your fucking mind. Okay? Yeah. Anyway, this ain't fucking Portland, Oregon or California where people are they back down when they see that term. Oh my God, somebody might think we're racist. If you think we're fucking racist, you don't know us. And if that's what you believe, believe it. I don't give a single fuck. So there you go. There's your answer, Ryan. So go ahead.
Thank you.
Just don't call me late to dinner. Yeah, it was a video, and like I said, it was cell phone footage, and they had arrested this black dude, and I guess he had a wad of cash on him, and the officer, you know, took it from him when he arrested him and put it in his door, the door of his car, and somehow Buddy, like, was being let go or some shit. I don't know if how it went down, but it was 4 cops and him standing next to the car, and he's basically like, there's fucking $400 or $500 missing out of my stack of cash that he took out of my fucking pocket, you know, and they were arguing back and forth, and eventually it did come out like the cop had swiped a few $100 out of this fucking wad of cash. So it happens.
Well, there you go. How is that defamation? You know, I mean, fuck them. I think the cops were in the wrong. Now, you know, do cops get bad intel? Sure. We've heard of it before where they hit the wrong fucking house or, you know, but then it's like, hey, you got to deal with whatever comes after that. I mean, it is what it is. You know, you fucked around. You hit this artist, I guess, so to say, this singer's fucking house. Well, first thing he thinks to do is make a fucking song about it. You know, I mean, get over it. Get over it is the point. You know, fuck them all. But
now they have to.
Yep, now they have to. So, Brad, I know you're a huge fucking Disney fan.
Dude, yeah.
Major. Well, there's a big change at the Mouse House over there, man. The company spent years turning family entertainment into fucking lectures on identity politics and, you know, climate doom and gender swaps, and DEI fucking checklist. You know, well, people noticed. The boycotts hit. Sure. Billions in value vanished, you know, and now after the damage, Disney is you know, they're quietly kind of scrubbing away the diversity and inclusion and the DEI from its, you know, annual report there. I mean, it's the first time in years, but I mean, the harsh truth, you know, the woke content didn't just flop. I mean, it crushed Disney's bottom line. I mean, you're big into the market, and the market cap is down over 40% in the last 5 years. I know somebody that, you know, knows the stock market and all that talk like you do. You can appreciate that number. That's big, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And look, when you look at that, it's like, right. I mean, and it's like you still got to think, does Disney as a whole really want to do away with DEI and whatever other agendas that they have? Or is it just more to say, dude, you got to go. We have stockholders to please. And I hope that they change their whole mantra because, look, it's a cool place. It's magical, man. It really is. Even at my age, I still don't mind going, so. But I don't like going with all that bullshit that's under your thumb,
No, I think they're going to have to. They're going to have to change, and I think that's part of the reason. Now, this guy was, from what I understand, he was set to leave anyway in a few months, but he's getting the fuck out of there early. And I doubt, and it's not like he's hurting for anything, but it was all, driven a little bit faster because they needed a change. They needed a big change around there. It's just people are tired of trying to get away from reality, so to say, when you go to watch a movie or and when you've got this dumb shit thrown in your fucking face left and right. It's just the average American, they don't want to see all that shit. I mean, you can call it what you want, I mean, it's like,
I agree.
And just to go through what they were doing. I mean, you've got the Strange World, which is a Pixar film, Disney or whatever, first openly gay teen lead in a Disney animated film. Talks about his crush on a boy. Nothing wrong with people being gay, but that's not what we're watching a Disney film for. That's not what some people don't want their kids introduced to that shit. You know what I mean? There's no need for it, in other words. It doesn't mean that gay kids or gay people don't exist, but there's no need for it. So it bombed hard. $197 million loss they took on that. Parents were not bringing their children to watch that shit. Yeah. And the big one they had, everybody was bitching about, was that Lightyear movie, the Buzz Lightyear that came out. And I mean, there was a lesbian kiss between two of the female characters in that Toy Story spinoff. So why, is what I bring it to. And then the reason why is because you've got a bunch of these fucking activists that have infiltrated these places like that. And they feel like this is what we have to do. We have to stand up for people. And there's not enough gay people represented in these cartoons. And I'm like, it's a fucking cartoon. Get over it.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's just crazy the shit that they don't realize until it's almost too late. And it's good to see the fucking backlash. I mean, we all saw that Snow White debacle, that with that actress that was playing Snow White running around. Just, I don't think anybody could stand this woman after listening to her talk for a minute or two. She was so horrible. I mean, she did nothing but just push that, basically just calling the original prince on Snow White like a stalker. And it was just this big feminist rewrite, with nobody wants to see that shit. Nobody cares about any of that. That's not why the fuck you bring your children to the theaters, I mean, it was just, it goes on and on, man. There's a list of them, I mean, even some people freaked out over the Little Mermaid thing, when they swapped the race of Ariel. I mean, I think it was more of just people saying that that's not, it's so far from the original that you didn't have to do that, It's probably more what that was about. I mean, I'm sure there were just some people that were like, I don't want to go see this black person, but I just think it was like, they knew why they were doing it. It's like, you're only doing it because you're basically like, fuck the white people. They've had enough. I mean, we're not stupid.
Yeah,
you know what they were doing.
The problem with that is that if they took Pocahontas and casted her as a blonde white chick,
yes, the backlash,
the fucking world would melt.
Oh, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's like, make a new movie. That's what I've always said. And then you don't piss anybody off.
Right. That's what I've always thought. Make more, princesses. Yeah. Make more superheroes. Like, whatever, but to have it one way and if you go the other way, like I said, the fucking world completely just implodes on itself. It's nuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they wind up having some shit leaked out of some of the 2022 meetings they were having, and they were pushing that they wanted at least 50% LGBTQ or racial minorities and characters, you know, and gender neutral part greetings and queerness in every kid's show. Like, why? It just shows you the type of people that they were hiring and who was running this shit. And it was just, there was no other direction for it to go but just down and be a failure when that is your biggest concern. It's not about putting out good shows anymore. I've watched a lot of the Disney and Pixar stuff. Some of them are great. You know, Cars was a great movie. You know, fucking the original Toy Stories, man. A lot of that shit is just fun to sit down and watch with your kids. There's a lot of comedy in it that you get only as an adult. You know, I mean, they made good movies. And then it just turned into this social justice movement. And that's just not what the average American is looking to do in their downtime, is sit there and be preached to. And you know, this pride shit all over the fucking place. Like, get the fuck over it. We all know gay people exist. We get it. That's fine. We're all fine with that. We don't have to be shoved in our fucking face every second of the day. Yeah. And I'm glad these motherfuckers finally saw the light. You know, maybe they can start making something decent that you don't mind allowing your children to watch. So.
And I think these CEOs, man, they really need to be held accountable at some point, at some point, even within the company, because I can guarantee it. This guy's going to resign, golden parachute, probably $15 million a year, stock options and this and that. And, you know, nothing's done to him. Well, I just resigned, dude. Okay, well, after you've done lost billions in the Disney Corporation, there's no accountability, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, that's true, man. They, you know, they I want to say another one. They were bitching about one of the movies when they did the whole Snow White wasn't, you know, they couldn't use dwarfs anymore. You know, they had to do some CGI magical creatures.
It's not
so we're underrepresenting midgets now?
Exactly. And you know, it's funny because a lot of that shit always backfires, because that's what a lot of the little people community or whatever you call them were saying, that you could have gave those jobs to little people that could have used that. But instead, your wokeness decided that, well, you know, that it's not right to have these little dwarfs running around, so we're going to make CGI magical fucking creatures now. And the little people are like, well, wait a second. You know, I want to be a Hollywood actor. That's how I make my living. Now you motherfuckers are writing us out of the script because you're afraid you might offend one person in the country. When nobody was offended by that. Who the fuck was offended by the seven dwarfs in Snow White?
Like, Willy Wonka, dude. I mean, come on, dude. You know, shit, man.
That's why there was an influx in micro wrestling.
Exactly.
I was wondering why that shit popped up so often.
That's what it was.
They all got fired from Disney.
Dude.
No, it's just funny to see them try so hard to look virtuous, and it always backfires. And then they're standing around, and you've got a bunch of midgets mad at you, and you're like, "Oh fuck, now what do we do?" You know, that's not. We were trying to do the total opposite. You know, it's crazy.
Now they just got to get on Jackass, kick themselves in the head. You know.
Yeah. I think they got another one of them coming out too. The Jackass thing.
I saw that.
I mean, I don't know how much more they can do. Like, jeez.
Yeah, I think fucking Johnny Knoxville's like not allowed to do stunts anymore and shit. He's fucked himself up so many times.
Yeah, he don't want to do anything that can risk head injuries is what he can't do. Yes. Like, he can't do the bull stuff anymore. Yeah, which is pretty much everything they do, unless they're just doing some kind of fucking with.
And he probably has enough money to where, like, why would you do that, dude? You know?
Yeah, and he's had enough, and he just couldn't help it. I guess this is what he did. Yeah. You know, I mean, when I hear the story about the first thing he ever did was allowing his buddy to shoot him in the fucking chest with a pistol for a magazine article. This is before they were even filming it and putting it out.
Wow.
You know, he was testing a bulletproof vest. So this is how this idiot started. It's like, I don't think the bull is what was going to kill him, but you know.
Exactly.
But apparently he's had enough concussions that, I mean, he's probably going to regret that later on in life. But.
Yeah, I guess he like sees a neurologist often now, and buddy's like, do not fuck around with your head because you're going to be retarded the next one.
Yeah. Can you say that?
Yeah, First Amendment, like Ryan's talking about.
Ryan, what is it under attack? I want to know. The First Amendment is always under attack. You're right, but it seems to be one side of the political spectrum that's attacking it. I mean, that's not news to us. And we do care. Of course you care. Man, you don't have freedom of speech. You're fucked. I mean, that's kind of where it starts, right next to taking away your fucking weapons. I mean, and you're done. And if it were up to people on one side, you wouldn't be able to say what we're saying online. They tried stopping that, So
true, man.
Trying to make sense of what Ryan, if it's your side, it's okay to violate the Constitution, but not for the Democrats to do it, right? I don't think anybody should be violating. Who's violating the Constitution? We got to get Ryan on, because I can't have this conversation through chats. Like, release the Epstein files. My God, what else? You've gotten all you're gonna get. Whoever that is, they ain't releasing no more. It's over. They done said it. It's done. You got what you're gonna get. So, Trump is against free speech. I think everybody's against free speech when it's against them. Doesn't mean they're going to ban it, Yeah, they don't like hearing it. So anyway, what else, Justin? What else is going on?
Did y'all put your bets in yet?
Who we betting on? Will Jesus Christ?
Oh, wow. Polymarket.
Polymarket.
Will Jesus Christ return before 2027?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah,
No.
Well, I mean, you better put your bets in now, dude.
Yeah.
There's a 4% chance that he does.
And people are betting on that shit, huh?
Oh, they are. Look,
that's incredible, dude.
Top holders. Wise Mecca has 563,000 shares of yes.
Come on.
Damn.
Someone 2026 has 475,000 shares of no. So that's.
So when does it end? At 2027?
So this market will resolve to yes if the second coming of Jesus occurs by December 31st, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Otherwise, this market will resolve to no. The resolution source for this market will be a consensus of credible sources. So
yeah. Okay.
Everybody get your
I don't
bets
know,
in.
man. I don't know. I was listening to audio of the Bible the other day, and I gotta admit, I kind of lost me with the first very beginning on as far as God created everything, and I'm thinking if it's hard to go along with a lot of it, as much as the good stuff that the Bible preaches. I don't have anything against it, but when you also believe in science, it's hard to just blindly follow that. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird mental struggle I was having with it, listening to it. Like, I'm trying, and I'm like, man, it's just hard to I mean, what Moses, 500 years old when he built the ark or some shit, I'm here and I'm like, man, it's just such a stretch to believe a lot of it that it's tough, man. And it's a struggle for a lot of people, but when I start hearing, just from nowhere, God created man, God created Adam, and he created Eve because, Adam needed a partner, and I'm like, but then you also, if you're into science at all, then you start looking into evolution and stuff, and it's like, well, you can't believe both, is the way I see it. At least it's hard to. So it's like it's a struggle, It's a struggle, man. And I'm thinking, man, if it lost me from the first fucking chapter, I don't know. It was rough, bro. Because I've never sat down and read or listened to the Bible. I never have. I've never had a reason. I wasn't really raised real religious. I'm still not religious, so to say. But you start thinking about things and just, okay, well, let me check this out. Let me see what it's all about, and then, like I said, from the very beginning, God created this. God created that. And I'm like, okay, maybe true, but at the same time, I'm into a lot of scientific shit. So that just disputes everything that this Bible started off telling me. And I know a lot of religious people don't want to sit here and hear that shit because you just got to have faith, so they say, and it's not it's religion and politics are always a touchy subject, but I'm just being honest. I mean, I gave it an effort. I was listening to the audio part of it as I'm driving around and still am, I'm getting bits and pieces of it, but it's just such a crazy story to go along with, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. It say it's the greatest story ever told. You know, I think it's just a good, you know, at least the New Testament's just a good, I guess, book to live by, you know, the preachings of whoever this Jesus Christ was. So you can take it for that. But, man, some people take that shit literal, and I just don't know if I can, man.
I don't have the attention span, dude.
CSR, well, that's why I listen to audio. 'Cause I ain't going to sit there and read it. I'm just not. But, see, he's saying start with the New Testament. And I Googled that and asked if it was a good idea. Like, can I start with the New Testament without have read or listened to the Old Testament? And it was kind of hit and miss. Some people say, well, you might need to start with the old one to kind of like it goes along with each other. But then some people were like, no, get right into it. So I don't know. I started with the old one. I'm not far into it. And I'm trying my hardest to give it some credibility. And when you believe in the science like I do, it's hard to give it that credibility right now, you know. But I'm putting an effort, you know, these little, you know, the Bible thumpers and down here on the Bible Belt that we're living in ought to be proud. I'm trying, but man, it's hard when you're a science guy, you know. I don't know, man. I don't want to be blasphemous because I just believe there is something bigger than us, but I just don't take that book literal, man. It's been passed down by so many generations, and it was, you know, it was spoken word to begin with before man was writing stuff down like that. So, and it was all in different languages that people couldn't understand. So it's just been, it's been manipulated and fucked with so much over the centuries that you know, it's hard to take it word for word. And, you know, I think you can pull a lot of valuable lessons out of it, but, you know, it is what it is. And I see Ryan, like, it gets a kick out of it. Well, I mean, it is what it is. What else can I be but honest? I mean, I do have more conservative values than I do liberal, I guess. But at the same time, I do have some, what you would say, liberal values. So I'm not a hardcore conservative. I'm not Charlie Kirk by any means. And I'm not saying I'm an atheist. I'm just more agnostic. Like, I don't know. And I'm trying to read more into it, you know? So, I don't know.
Yeah, I fall on the science side.
I think that's all you can do, dude.
Yeah. No, that's true. You know, that's, and like you said, well, time will show you. I mean, I get it, man.
Absolutely.
I just, you know, the big one a lot of people go to is, you know, all the atrocities and shit that happen in this world. You know, why would anybody as powerful as this being is supposed to be allow it? Now, the excuse for it is always, well, he gave man free will, you know, to do as you want, to see if you're going to do the right thing. So I get it, you know, but like I said, I don't know about this creating everything because, you know, there's also the Big Bang Theory that I read up on, and you know, the science behind it and just how we formed and just organisms itself. So I don't know. It could go real deep. I don't even know who the fuck brought up the Bible.
You.
Religion. Because who brought up religion? No, somebody brought up Jesus or something.
Oh, gotcha.
Someone brought up Jesus and y'all got me on this life journey I'm fucking taking right now.
It's all right, dude. We'll talk off air, dude, if we got to, man. We'll get you straight, dude.
I just want to have a mega church, man. I want to run a mega church. I want to fly down from the rafters, man.
Big Bang warehouse or something, and we'll just study it. Yeah. I've been deep diving on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, man. That's what I mean. Science interests me way more than religion does because, I mean, for one, there's multiple religions. So it's like, pick one. I mean, you know, pick one and have faith, I guess, is all you can do. But, you know, I just, the science behind shit really catches me. I'm like, ooh.
It is.
Hey,
incredible.
y'all remember last episode we talked about Jerry O'Connell and his bitch ass on Bill Maher? You know, talking about how, you know, well, he was on X today and he said, okay, Club Random was my last podcast. Can't do anything right. X is mad at me. My family is mad at me. Even the New York Post is having a laugh, you know. So he got in trouble when he got home. And I remember a few times on that podcast, he was like, okay, can I say this? Or, you know, will I be married after I say this? Like, he was so fucking scared to voice his own thoughts on a podcast because his fucking wife was gonna have his ass when he got home, and apparently she did. She fucking.
You think
put
she
it on
beats his ass?
Man, he said it himself that the wife and the daughters got physical with him the night that Kamala Harris lost because he was trying to say what she did wrong, and they didn't want to fucking hear it. They didn't want to hear anything negative about Harris in that campaign, and that's how bad this man has it in his fucking household. He refuses.
He definitely sits the piss, dude, for sure, dude.
Yes,
I mean, yeah, you can tell that, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
He will not do any more podcasts because he got in so much trouble when he got home. And I'm thinking, dude, get the
a life,
fuck
dude.
over it. Yeah,
Dude,
I'm not
grow the
saying you
fuck
can't
up,
respect.
Well, let's say grow a pair, dude. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, look, respect your wife's feelings, of course, but she has to respect yours too. That look, we may not agree on this, but I'm not going to stop you from saying it if that's how you feel. But that's not how it is in his household. What a pussy. My God. So Jerry O'Connell, I'm a fan of some of his movies, but what a pussy. He belongs right where he's at, and that's in California, living in the fucking Beverly Hills or wherever the hell he's at with his wife wearing the fucking pants in the family. So enjoy it. But he must have caught hell when he got home because he is like, I'm done with this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
So.
It reminds me of this video.
What's up, boo?
Hey, what's happening?
Tap in with us. Where the bitches at, though? Yes, sir. We're trying to kick it.
Bitches, bro. I told you this.
Why not?
Bro, my girl got you on there. I told you that.
Wait, so why haven't you blocked her from...
I blocked her already on my phone, but I can't do that on your account, bro.
What?
She sees everything you post.
Oh.
Remember the last time you was mentioning bitches? I didn't get in a fade, bro. She blacked my eye.
Oh, the homegirl abusive.
She blacked my eye.
The homegirl domestic violence.
Yes, bro.
But fool, but your horse will be my horse and my horse will be your
We
horse.
won't have no horse if we both dead, bro. How the fuck we gonna play that role if we both dead?
Oh, she trying to 187 type shit?
Bro, double homicide. Yes.
Murder was the case?
Murder was the case.
The homegirl death row. But then just leave her, fool. She's probably weird, fool. She's a weirdo, fool.
It's like I'm addicted to this shit. I don't know. I can't explain it to you, bro.
You're addicted to bitches punching you in the face?
That shit off.
Right here at the block with the homies. What's up, boo?
I've seen that before. It's got to be parody.
It's gotta be,
that's
dude.
what it reminds you of. You got to watch what you say
dude.
because your old lady might hear it, you know. Look.
Oh yeah.
Mine listens to this. I'm sure she don't like everything I say, but
mine too.
You know, she respects it. Just do what you want. I may not agree with everything you say, but I'm not going to control what you say. So it must suck to live in the O'Connell house if you're him. I mean, you know, he said he's got two daughters that are up in their teens and a wife at home that give him hell if he speaks out of turn or, you know, approaches a topic in a way that they don't agree with. And I'm thinking, bro, I mean, come on, man.
You know what? Fuck him, dude. He created that fucking environment, dude. He should have started that off on the right foot, dude. You know?
That's true. That's true, man. Let me see what we got. I came across breaking news while I was scrolling X. Let's see what we got. Yeah, this ought to be good. Now, let's see. Oregon high school principal Jeremy Williams, who was placed on leave for celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, has just been sentenced to 5 years in prison over possession of child pornography.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's always the ones that want to act like they're virtuous. They're telling you how to live. Charlie Kirk is a bad person, and if you follow Charlie Kirk, you're a bad person. Meanwhile, this sick motherfucker has child porn on his fucking computer, and like I said, we're the bad ones, you know? It's always them. The harder they push and the harder they try to seem like they're good people, the more disgusting they fucking are, you know? And it's like you said, bitching about what Charlie Kirk is doing, and your ass is having fantasies about touching children. You sick motherfucker. There's his face. Have a good look at it, you dirty bastard. I hope he gets just what he deserves in fucking prison. Sick motherfucker.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah. Celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk like he's some fucking great guy, you know, that I didn't like Charlie Kirk. I am, you know, and the next thing you know, they fucking check his hard drive and there it is. Dumb motherfucker. So that's good for him. Anyway.
Did you seen that teacher that kind of local but got arrested today, I believe it was? Or no, maybe it was yesterday. He got arrested for child neglect and something else. He was putting Band-Aids over the kids' mouths for talking in class or some shit like that.
I saw the headline, and my brain went
His own kids?
No,
No,
kids in school.
the
He was a
school
teacher.
kids. He was a teacher.
Oh, what's wrong with that, dude?
Yeah, so did you read it?
I
Because
mean-
all I saw was the headline, and
I
I'm
didn't
thinking it
see
was
it,
just
dude, no.
Band-Aids on there. Like, what was the problem?
Yeah.
So I did read it, but they didn't really explain the full story. I kind of got bits and pieces from parents commenting on the post. And apparently it was 7 different kids that he put Band-Aids over their mouths for talking in class, according to them. Now, according to his lawyer, the Band-Aid was used in some famous music teacher. He was a music teacher. And it was used by some famous music teacher to teach kids to stay on octave and like to teach, their vocals basically. Right. And he was using that as a tool. And that's basically his response to the charges.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I didn't see no harm unless it hurt the kids, if it was just some kind of Band-Aid and when he pulled it off, their fucking skin ripped off, but yeah.
The lawyer did say that he saw the Band-Aids and they weren't very high quality Band-Aids.
Right.
And that the kids also used the Band-Aids to make mustaches after the fact. So
what's the problem?
Yeah.
People are soft, bro. We used to get our asses beat in school with paddles. Now they can't even put a Band-Aid on your fucking mouth.
I went to private school, dude, and I had teachers, dude. Yeah, he would use duct tape on your fucking mouth or throw erasers at you, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. And you'd go home and tell your parents, and they were like, "Well, what the hell you were doing in class, dude?"
Yeah, because that's a big thing with religious stuff. Is you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So I went to private school too for a couple years in New Orleans, and I mean, I watched the principal come in and just backhand the fuck out of kids, like out of the desk.
Without a doubt.
I'm not doing shit to piss this guy off.
Right, exactly, dude.
Barry
100%.
Butera was his name. He was principal, and his son was like the vice principal or the disciplinarian. So his son would come in there and, I mean, beat the piss out of children. I'm thinking, good God. I'm like, I'm glad they got me the fuck out of there soon, but I'm thinking, damn, this is what goes down in these schools. But in public school, they used to be able to paddle your asses if your parents gave permission, And mine always did. They signed off on it.
Absolutely, dude. Fuck, now they put you in a dress, dude. What the fuck, So.
Yeah. They put you in a dress.
It's all good.
All right, let's wrap it up. It's almost 10 o'clock our time. Will we be back, Friday, right? Today's Wednesday? Yeah, we'll be back Friday. Supposed to have somebody coming on. We'll see. He's been trying to get on for a few days now, but he's tied up, so we'll see. Now, I know next week we got an interesting guest coming on Wednesday. We'll announce who that is in a couple days, but y'all stay with that, or at least pay attention, and we'll keep you updated. So, anyway, till then, till next time, all of y'all be good. If you hadn't hit subscribe yet, do it. And, we'll be back Friday, so you know what to do, guys. Tell them later.
Bye.
God bless.